Building room. This one. Thank you so much. Going for the rest of that bar. Oh wow, it's recording too. Sorry guys, this is the real me. Yes, I have my water. Thank you. I'm just laughing here because, hi everyone. I just had lunch, right? I inhaled my most amazing tomato sandwich with bacon. I took a sip of Dwayne's Coke and I sat down here and I burped. And the recording was on, of course, and I was like, oh, well, that's the real me, right? So when we post this recording one day, they're gonna see me burping on camera. Well, just another day in the office, right? Okay, so Lindsay, I made you the co-host. You should be able to admit people now.
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. I just had the best laugh here by myself. Sometimes I surprise myself. Oh, Devin is here. Let's celebrate. Do you remember when you were a brand new agent? Everyone, you remember that? When you were a brand new agent and you closed your first transaction? Devin Simpson just closed his first transaction. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm in my garage trying to fix my car, but thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Feels good. Finally, it was a long process.
We lost you, Devin, there, but I'm so happy. I told him to. Oh, it is froze. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're the one freezing. Devin didn't. We heard him. It was just you for a second.
I froze.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But I told him to frame it. I just found. Did you? Yeah, I just found my first commission back in the day. Like I was cleaning out some cabinet back in Michigan and I found my first commission check and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm framing this, right? So if you find it, I think frame it. It's so nice. I also framed my very first $1 million 1099.
Oh, nice.
But that year we actually got two, right, Christy? Two of
Yes,
them.
we did. Yes, we did.
That was over 7 digits. I was like, that has to be framed too.
Yeah.
To celebrate things, right? Because I don't know about you, but for me, I feel like it helps you just to go and chase that next dream. Because as soon as it's on paper, then it's real, right? Okay, so today is a big day. People are still coming in. I'm so excited that you guys are here. We are going to start. So every open to the public, we usually start with our most amazing Toby Mathis. Toby Mathis is my tax attorney. One of the smartest people I know, because you'll get to a point, or you might be already at a point where, how do I say it? There's phases for money, right? And there's a phase while we make it and we learn how to make it. Then there's a phase to learn to save it, and there's a phase to learn to multiply it. But somewhere in that period of time, there's also a phase where you're supposed to not pay it all to Uncle Sam, right? So we don't get tax training, and usually what happened to me, at least in the past, is that my CPA will tell me one thing and my financial advisor will tell me the other thing, and I don't speak their level of English to start with, right? And then next thing I know, I'm supposed to make a decision because it's the end of the year and I need to decide, am I paying it in taxes? Am I putting it in a Roth IRA or a DB or a whole life insurance, or what the thing is out there in the world, right? So I found Anderson Advisors after a couple of years of research. I've been with them now for 2 years. Toby is one of the founders of Anderson Advisors. So I call on my board of advisors. I pretty much use them for all of their services. I even signed up for services that I did not need at that time. So Toby, you are here today. You have 5 minutes to teach us something that we don't know about investing, taxes, that kind of stuff, anything on the tax side of things. And then we have Coach Burt is going to teach us today how to activate our prey drive, because 2023 is around the corner and we need to be competitive because there's 1.6 million realtors out there. 6 million transactions are going to be done, estimated in 2023. The question is who is going to be doing those transactions? So that's better be us, right? So for that, we are going to activate our prey drive with Coach Burt in 5 minutes. Toby, go.
In the meantime, Gogo, do you want to feed this live on Facebook? Sorry.
Yes, I will feed it in the meantime. Toby, go.
Cool. Thanks, Gogo. Hey, I'm going to make this really simple. I'm going to focus on something that you guys probably didn't think we'd focus on. It's going to be charitable giving. And I can just tell you, because I do returns, we do about 10,000 returns here, and we work with a lot of successful investors and some of the best real estate agents in the country, Gogo included. And one of the common traits is you see voracious givers. And so how to do it right. First off, you have a standard deduction. So if you're a giver, and by the way, just show of hands, or if do an emoji or reaction or something, how many of you guys give money to charity or give it to your church or actually do it? Yeah. Okay. There we go. How many of you guys actually get a tax benefit for doing it? Because the benefit, you actually have to exceed your standard deduction before you get any benefit. And so a concept that I'm going to throw out to you is getting chunky with it. And what I mean by chunky is doing 2-year giving instead of 1-year giving. So here we are at the end of the year. You may be really close to exceeding the standard deduction. Let's say you're single. I think it's $12,950. You get to take as a standard deduction against your income, no matter what. And then if you itemize, you get to write off your charitable deductions added with your healthcare deductions, added with your mortgage interest, added with your state and local taxes, which is capped at $10,000. But you add all those things up together, and that's whether you get an actual tax benefit. I can tell you statistically, 89% of the people out there take the standard deduction. So only 11% of the people are actually getting the charitable deduction of what they're giving. So I'm going to help you maximize it. If you are a giver and you're looking at it going, oh crap, did I get to write off my charitable deductions last year? Look at your return, see if you actually itemized. If the answer is yes, how close you were, like, would you have been better off? Like, were you within $1,000 or $2,000? And the reason I say this is it might be better to do an extra dose of giving before the end of the year, so you can get more deduction and take the standard deduction next year, if you know what I'm saying. In other words, hey,
okay, break this down. I made $100,000 this year. Break it down for me.
All right. So let's say you give $10,000, you made 100, let's say you tithe 10%. I'm not saying here's something that happens when you give, and you give time and you start getting involved in charities. Rich people hang around charities, period. Right. You're either going to be poor and needy or kind of the rich and greedy, right? You want to be around some of them rich and greedy guys or gals. Right. You want to be around some people that are well-heeled. It'll help your business out. That's just a fact of life. Yeah. So if you're going to give, so let's say you do 10% and you have no mortgage and you have no state taxes, you may not get to deduct that $10,000 that you gave because you have a standard deduction. Your standard deduction being close to, like, it's $25,000. Over $25,000 if you're married. If you're single, it's close to $13,000, right? So you may not get any benefit for it. But if instead I gave $10,000 for 2022, and I was going to give $10,000 next year anyway, so I give the extra $10,000 before December 31st. Now I gave $20,000, and I'm going to get the actual tax benefit. The following year, you just take the standard deduction and you do no giving. In other words, give every 2 years instead of every year, because you get no benefit if you're spreading it out. Maybe you're better off. Then the question becomes, what kind of asset should I give? If you're a cash giver, start to rethink that. Look at your stock account, or if you have crypto or anything that's appreciated in value, don't sell.
Don't look at your stock account then.
Well,
or your crypto.
Believe it or not, the 3 of the 4 that we do on our Infinity side are up. There's some people doing very well in the market, but well taken. But if you sold it, maybe you'd take. We had a big run up over the last 3 years. So even though we're down this year, statistically, we're up almost 15% over the last 10 years on average. Right.
So question for you, could I volunteer my time and take the value of that?
No, you can't, because it wasn't a taxable transaction. So if I give time, the most I could do is write off some of the mileage, perhaps 25 cents a mile, I think is what your charitable deduction gets. but yeah, since you never recognize tax on it, you don't get the donation.
Got
But
it.
if you bought something that appreciated, so let's say I bought $1,000 of stock and it's worth $10,000 now. Don't sell the stock for $10,000, recognize the $9,000 of gain, and then give the money. Give the stock. You get a fair market value deduction if you've held it over a year. It's the fair market value of the stock when you give it. So if I instead gave $10,000 of stock that I paid $1,000 for, I get a $10,000 deduction. Depending on what your tax bracket is, it could be, you know, like Gogo there. You're probably sitting in the highest bracket, right? So that's worth $3,700 in deductions to you. That's more than what you paid for the stock. Now, rich people donate houses.
Does that make sense, guys? So you have to look at it. If you are giving $1,000, right? Let's say you're giving $1,000, but you are in the 37% tax bracket. If you don't give that $1,000, you're going to be paying $37 in taxes. You're paying that $37 no matter what, right? The question is, do you just want to give 1,000, right? Or 370, right? So do you want to give 1,000 to help somebody out for a cause and not pay $370 on taxes? That's pretty much what it does. That's why the rich people, the numbers make sense when you make way more than $100,000, right? But look at it this way. If you made $1 million, you better starting your own foundation and take $200,000 of that and put it into a foundation and change the world with it. Because now you're only paying taxes on 800. And if you're in 37% bracket on 800, somebody do the math. We're talking hundreds of hundreds. And on the 200,000, 37% would be what, $75,000?
Yeah, right around 74.
There we go. You're saving yourself not having to pay $74,000 in taxes by donating to a good cause, $200,000. And you can start your own foundation. At some point when the numbers make sense, you can start your own charitable foundation, fund that, help change the world, right? And in return, save yourself on not having to pay that much on taxes. Mike Fowler has a quick question, and then we have to switch over to our speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great information. My question is, I'm starting to donate 10% of my commission to the charity of my client's choice, with a goal of donating $1 million over the next 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a high area. Our average price is about $2 million. And so it allows me some luxuries to do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a marketing question, or it could be a tax question. I don't know. Is it better to donate directly to the client's charity of choice, or align myself with a specific charity and get some leverage from that by being their go-to donor?
Yeah, so when you give, you can't receive anything in return. So you have to be a little bit careful about being like the captive party where they start advertising for you, because that's how you get your donation taken away. So like the people that are in the little church pamphlet and they say brought to you by such and such, that's advertising, which you would still write off. But if you were taking it as a charitable donation, the IRS would look at that and could come in and say, hey, wait a second, you're just advertising, with the charity of your choice, right?
Right.
Yeah, do what you're doing. It's the right way to do it. You are getting a charitable deduction. And the issue that you have is whenever you're dealing with charitable deductions, there's an adjusted gross income limitation of 60%. So you're doing 10%. I can't see you button up against this thing, but just know that there is a limitation for cash gifts, and make sure when you're making that gift that you're getting a receipt from the organization. So even if let's say you got audited and you didn't have a letter from the charity recognizing that you gave them cash and saying you didn't receive anything in return, the IRS will deny your donation if you did not receive that letter. And even if they gave it to you after the fact, they would say it has to be contemporaneous. And so we've seen $1 million plus donations disallowed because they didn't get that stupid letter. The IRS likes to do mean things like that. So you're supposed to get a receipt on every transaction, and you have to have an appraisal if it's anything other than cash and it's over $5,000. So you got to be a little careful.
Thank you very much for the time.
Mike, it sounds like the best one is to keep giving it to different foundations, so then you're not locked in with you can They can't say you're doing it for marketing purposes, right?
Yeah.
And just make sure that you get that letter as soon as you paid it, you get an invoice or receipt, and then you
But-
should be good.
Hey, go, and then I'll get out of your hair. Guys, do what Mike is doing. Believe me, what he is doing, that works. That's my experience. Rich people like to have a good feeling. Oh, I'm helping some folks. I'm helping some folks, right? Help them
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that good feeling, and they will help you by giving you as much business as they can cram down your throat. And so again, and you're doing good. Like, I'm a believer in doing good, but I see it on the returns over and over and over again.
Thank you.
so much, Toby. Thank you, Mike, for your question. Let's move. Thank you. Let's move on to Micheal Burt. Coach Burt, are you here?
I'm here. How are you doing today?
We are ready for you. How are you?
I was thinking about an ideal market for everybody on this call, especially your accountant there. I call it rich and confused. If everybody can just find all the rich and confused people, then this is an ideal market for everybody on this call. Yes or no?
Yes. So what are you going to teach us today? Everybody, this is Coach Burt. If you don't know Coach Burt, I had the privilege of meeting him probably about a year and a half ago. And even though I'm one of the people to say out loud that I'm not coachable, the reason why is because I'm going to do whatever I want to do, right? But when I met Coach Burt, I was like, I think I could be coached by him, right? Like in my case, and please, Coach Burt, don't take it the wrong way, but the very first time I had a coach, it was a $600 phone call. And he asked me how I was doing and how was my last week. And I was like, I do not need this call. I'm not looking for a friend, right? I'm looking for somebody who can, so said, kick my ass, somebody who's a bigger asshole than myself, somebody who can make me do things and I am not willing to do on my own. Because in order to grow, right, we feel comfortable doing certain things, but in order to grow, you have to take yourself out of whatever you feel comfortable. Outside of your comfort zone is your success, but you need that push. I feel like I have that and I can do that to myself organically. But if I needed a coach, this one right here, Mr. Coach Burt could kick my ass. So I'm so excited to introduce you to him. He does the most amazing training about the pre-drive, and heading into 2023, I feel like we all need that. We all need that little ass whooping. So Coach Burt, take it from here.
All right. Well, thank you, Gogo. And I do think you're pretty coachable because I see you take notes. And I remember the first time I met you at Sprint in Nashville, and I taught on the habits of the top 1% of performers. And you were there on the front row taking notes and posting.
About 20 pages.
So I do believe you're coachable. Now, I was a real basketball coach, guys. The reason I have a coach in me is because I spent a decade actually building a national championship program. I coached women's basketball, so I relate very well to strong females who want to do something big because that's who I coached for a decade of my life. And what I really studied during that cycle that I've summed up into two words, pre-drive, P-R-E-Y, D-R-I-V-E. Okay, what I was really doing that decade of being a championship basketball coach was activating a drive inside of a person to want more for their life, to do more, to produce more, to create more. And this, if there's ever been a better time in real estate to do this, it's now. Okay, and I'm going to give you some stats in real estate that you really need to always remember. The average person is going to buy 4 to 7 homes in their lifetime. Okay, how many of those would you like to get? And I've never had, of all the thousands of real estate agents I coach, they all say all 7, coach. I'd like to get all of them. Okay, great. Each satisfied person should be worth 5.7 referrals over the lifetime of the consumer. Every stat in the world in every discipline, a sales discipline, tells me it takes 7 to 15 touches, 80% of the time, to convert a prospect to a buyer. Okay, now I tell you those stats because it would be logical to me that if a person's going to buy 7 houses, I want to represent them on all 7. It would be logical to me that I would like to get the 6 referrals from those people. It would be logical to me that I need to follow up 7 to 15 touches. The national average right now for real estate agents in follow-up is 1.8 times. So people are following up 1.8 times, but they're telling me I need to recession-proof my business. And I'm coming back and telling you, no, what you need to do is do the things it takes to win, no matter what market you're in. You don't recession-proof a business in a recession. You recession-proof a business before you get to a recession. And the way you do that is by pretending you're in a recession all the time. Okay, so I want you to remember these things. We go to bed tired and we wake up hungry. Okay, we go to bed tired and we wake up hungry. This is the mindset of a high prey drive person we're going to talk about. Number two, one of my favorites, Macy, is it all goes to zero at midnight. It all goes to zero at midnight. No matter how much money you have in your bank account, I want you to train yourself to remember that at midnight, it goes to zero. We start over every day. Number three, it's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. It's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. And we know that we're not going to win if we don't go into battle. King David was a great king in the Bible, as long as he was going into battle. The one year he stayed home, he got distracted, he got lazy. His own troops said, we're good. You don't have to go in and fight. Stay home. He stayed home. He got distracted, which means to pull apart. He watched the Bathsheba show. He got himself in all kinds of trouble, and his whole life went downhill. You know why? He wasn't going into battle. Here's what a lot of people do. They don't go into battle every day. The lion goes into the jungle to kill the prey. If he doesn't kill the prey, the whole family don't eat. And they got to go in when? Every single freaking day. They don't go in one day and then they say, well, you know what? I'm going to take a couple of days off and not go in, right? So here's the last one, and then we'll get into the talk. There comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. And winter is always coming. Winter is always coming. Now, Gogo was at the same presentation I was at in Dallas, where Tony Robbins went back and he studied every 10 years of our country and the history of our country. And if you study every 10 years of our country, go back to 1910, you would see that there are incredible seasons of prosperity in our country where it's easy, prosperous, people are winning, people making lots of money. It's easy to sell houses. And then there are periods where it gets harder. So it goes from spring and summer to fall and winters are cold and difficult and hard. Well, I was a basketball coach. The season was always in the winter, but we didn't win championships in the winter. We won championships in the preseason, in the summer, because that's when we prepared for the winter. Everybody with me? And I used to bring my girl basketball players. All the girls on here would be like, man, I'd love playing for this dude. I used to bring them in at 4:30 in the morning in the summer. And I would tell my players, when those other girls are at the country club and they're laying out in the sun and they're messing around, we're going to be in the gym, because come winter, we're going to be kicking their butt. And sure enough, winter would come, we would kick everybody's butt. And people would ask me, how do we do it? And that's ultimately why I started writing books, because we were winning so much. So these are mottos we have to live by. Okay. So I want you to write these 4 things down, because this is what I should be doing every day. Number 1, I should be calling on new money every day. I should be calling on new money every day. The business needs new money, new opportunity. Money changes hands when problems are solved. The bigger the problem, the more money people will pay to solve their problem. Now, you can tell me all day long that people are not doing real estate or buying real estate. Folks, I just completed about a $3.6 million transaction in downtown Nashville in the last 90 days. I'm purchasing a $1.6 million condo during this period. You can tell me all day long people ain't buying real estate, and I would tell you that that's not true, because I'm still buying real estate. Now, what you need to give me are options. You need to keep going until you put the deal together. You need to get creative with your mortgage players. You need to keep going until you bring a deal to a close. The word close means to bring something to an end. It means to bring 2 things together. I have a desire and you have a skill. And I need you to take your skill and see this all the way through to its conclusion. If Mike Fowler's doing deals that are 2 million, average sale of a house is 2 million. I'm in watercolor right now. The average sale of a house down here is 2 million plus. And there's still deals going on the market every day. My buddy just sold his house on the ocean for 18.5 million last week, all cash. Okay. Largest sale of a home on the ocean in watercolor just happened of 18.5 in cash last week. He made $4 million on the transaction. He bought it for 14 million, sold it for 18.5. Okay. So you can tell me all day long that people are not buying, that it's hard to make money during this cycle. And I would encourage you, go to a major city on a Friday night. See how much money people are spending in bars, at restaurants. Okay. Go to Texas Roadhouse and see how much money they spend on a Friday night to eat dinner, right? So they're spending money. You got to convince them to spend the money with you. So every day we should be calling on new money, every single day. Number 2, we should be following up with people, anybody who has ever indicated interest in buying or selling a house. And we should be going 7 to 15 touches. Okay. 7 to 15 touches. National average right now for real estate agents, 1.8 times. They're not following up. And if they are, they're not following up in a meaningful way. that brings a deal to a close. They're not presenting options. They're not keep going until they have this thing to a close. We should be following up with people who are close or who have shown interest in buying or selling real estate. Number 3, we should be tagging and loving on our top clients. There's always things you could be doing. Now, I get a phone call every week from my real estate agent, and it's not always him. Many times it's his team. And here's what they say. What are your real estate goals for 2023? How can we assist you? What are your goals for your properties that you own? Or sometimes they call and say, thank you. They say, we want to come to your trainings. Here's what they do. They stay in constant flow with me, constant frequency with me. Okay. 98% of agents never follow up with the client after the transaction is over. Okay. So you're never going to get this 5.7 referrals if you don't follow up, and you're never going to get the next 6 houses they buy. And you're never going to get the access to the other deals if you don't stay in a flow and frequency. So we should be following up with our top clients. I call that the top 25 meaningful relationships that I stay in touch with. Gogo can tell you I stay in touch with her. I text message her. I have my team contacting her. We stay involved with her. There's a flow.
You are the best at touches and follow-ups.
Okay. And that's because I wrote the book $1 Million Follow-Up. I believe the fortune is in the follow-up.
Yeah, you do amazing at it. But I want to go back very quick to how many transactions. So if you feel like the real estate market is like, oh, the transactions are going down or whatever, right? First of all you need to do is Google it. The proof is in the pudding. It's in the numbers, right? Google the average home sold per year. And this is what you're going to find. This is from the US Census, right? When I got into real estate in 2011, there was 4.26 million homes sold. So 4.25 million transactions exchanged hands in 2011. This year, we had 5.95 million, almost 6. And for 2023, they're estimating 6.07 million homes are going to be exchanging hands. Real estate is not going anywhere. Not only that, but on top of it, we have a 2 million home shortage in this country. New construction, in order to catch up, they would have to build a minimum of 2 million homes this year. It's never going to happen, right? It's impossible. So, and raise your hand if you remember one year in the history of mankind where humans didn't have to live somewhere.
Yep.
Ever. Never. So real estate and home sales are going absolutely nowhere. The question is who is going to be doing the transactions. So if you're an average agent of the 1.8 touches, as I said, then yeah, you're going to get average results or less, because 80% of the real estate transactions are done by the top 3% of the agents, 80%, which means the 20% of the transaction is left for 97% of the agents to share.
Yep.
So the question is who you want to be, average or kick some ass?
Yeah, and average people take average actions, guys. So the third thing you should be doing is following up with your top people, because they're going to be doing more real estate deals and they're connected to other people. I call that the top 25. So I touch 3 of my top 25 every day. Okay. Now I'm going to show you in a second how this turns out to be about 35 to 45 high value activities every day that I'm doing. Okay. So I'm not asking you to spend 8 hours a day prospecting. Typically, it takes me about an hour to 2 hours to touch all of these people. And a touch could be an email, text message, typically a text message, video text, voice text. Okay. And I'm touching 3 of those key players every single day to keep things in a forward posture. And the 4th thing you should be doing every day is inviting people to something in the future. Okay. I'm generating about 3,000 leads every 90 days. And the way I'm generating those leads is I constantly have something in the future for people to come to. Webinars, boot camps, private events.
Living with the monster this weekend.
Couples retreats. I am constantly creating things to invite people. And so I'm doing a free webinar series every week that's generated about 300 leads. Those people have indicated interest. They signed up for a webinar. They want to learn more about Pray Drive. This is the perfect time. They can get 30 minutes of time with me completely free. And we convert those to deals. Those are 300 real leads, 300 real opportunities. So when you think about this, I'm constantly creating what I call the showcase, which is an opportunity for me to get in front of people and show them, not let an ad show them, but me show them how I could really help them with their goals. So next week I'm doing EXP events in San Antonio. I'm doing insurance events in Texas. And when I go to a city, I'm like, who do I know? How can I put 50 people in a room? How can I put 100 people in a room? Because we don't need more money, we need more people. The people have the money. And anything you can do to get in front of people is a good thing, right? Because it leads to monetization or money. Okay. Now, this turns out to be about 35 to 45 high value activities every day. So I'm calling on 5 to 10 new people. I'm trying to close 5 to 10 people. I'm loving on my top people, and I'm inviting people to something in the future. Okay. And I'm doing that typically in a 2-hour cycle every day. Every single day I'm doing that, 35 to 45. If I was trying to attract agents to my team, then guess what I would be doing? Everything I'm currently doing. I'd be coming out with a new book. I'd have my podcast out. I'd be doing webinars like crazy. I'd be doing podcasts like crazy. And I'd be doing my social media like crazy. And I would be combining that with what I call hand-to-hand combat, which is me physically calling, touching, tagging, engaging, opening new doors, because we don't need more money. We need more people. Now, having said that, how many of you in the last 15 minutes have found somewhere in your business that you could go to work and improve? Right. How many of you have got an area right now you could improve on based on what we've been talking about? Okay. So this leads us, there's Beth Manning, one of my favorites. That leads us to what Prey Drive is. Okay. And Beth's been coached by me, so she knows what Prey Drive is. Prey drive is prevalent in animals. Okay. And I have a whole new book on this coming out. It's my 17th book called Flip the Switch. We're going to post that so you can pre-order, because you get 2 free days of coaching with me when you buy the book. When you pre-order the book, you get two full days of coaching, completely free. Two boot camps I do where I break things down. You get 90 days of calls with me called Prey Drive for Lunch for $26 when you buy the book. Okay. So here's what Prey Drive is. Prey Drive in animals is an instinct to pursue. So if you have a dog has a prey drive, and it is the animal's ability to stalk, capture, and kill prey. Okay, that's what the animal does. It sees it and it pursues it. And I heard that one day about 3 years ago, and I'm like a songwriter. I'm always looking for a great hook, a great concept. And because I write so many books, I go, prey drive. I said, humans have a prey drive. It is their instinct to see something that they want with their eyes or in their mind, in their imagination, and to have the persistence and the intensity to pursue it. That's my definition. I trademarked the concept. Okay. And I call that vujade. It's a new way to talk about an old thing. Okay. Deja vu is where you've heard it before. I'm talking about motivation in a whole new way. I'm saying you have an instinct inside of you that was given to you at birth. It was a birthday gift. Okay. I have a daughter, a 12-week-old daughter. I have a 2.5-year-old son. I don't have to tell them to pursue things. They wake up every day and just pursue and get involved in things and just go after things, right? You have that inside of you. But what's happened is it's latent and it's undeveloped. And the world is telling you, don't be too aggressive and don't push too much and don't be a salesman and don't follow up and be this. What the world has really done is kind of beat that prey drive out of you. And what I'm trying to do is reactivate that drive. Okay. So it is your instinct that when you think about a person, you call a person. When you think about following up, you follow up. When you have an idea, you take that idea and you see it through to its conclusion. When you think of a strategic partnership, you follow up on that partnership. When you think about a past client you have, you go from instinct to action. You don't go from instinct to fear, and you don't think about it. And you don't go, well, what are they going to think? Or what if they don't like me? Or what if they're not interested? Everybody see that? You have this instinct. So there are 3 phases to this drive. Number 1, it has to be activated. It has to be activated. Okay. Number 2, the prey drive. There must be a persistence to the prey drive. Right, Cat West? There must be a persistence to this prey drive. And this is the suck, right? The Navy SEALs call it embrace the suck. It's a period of time of doing things you don't want to do that you got to do to win. Nobody wants to prospect. Nobody wants to follow up 7 to 15 touches. But I don't listen to my feelings. Amateurs listen to their feelings. I always tell people, do you think Journey feels like singing Don't Stop Believing? No, they don't feel like singing it. They've been singing it for 30 years. But if you go to a Journey concert, that's the only thing you want to hear. Here's
I have
Okay.
to add on to that, right? So a couple of days ago, Christy and somebody were talking about this person didn't want to hurt my feelings, right? It was a business decision, but they didn't want to tell me the truth because they didn't want to hurt my feelings. And Christy, are you on this call?
Yeah, I'm here.
What did you say?
I said it's a business decision. Gogo doesn't care. You guys, she's gonna appreciate you for taking that choice to better yourself in your business. It's not a personal decision. It's
No,
business.
you said Gogo doesn't have feelings.
Oh, that one? Okay, yeah. But I also said that too. So first I said Gogo doesn't have feelings. Then I said that also.
I don't do
So.
feelings, guys. Feelings, there should not be feelings in business. Business is numbers. Does it make sense? Number one. Number two, in my opinion, God gave you an idea. God created you, right? God knows what skills he gave you. So when he gives you the idea, when that idea pops into your head, you can consider it done. Because if God thought that I would be better for that idea, then he would have gave it to me. Or he would have given it to Micheal Coach Burt, right? Or he would have given it to Christy. So if an idea just shows up in your mind, it was delivered from the gods, from the skies, right? That is for you to act on it. Now, the question is, do you have the balls to take action? And that's where most people go wrong, because they start going into their feelings. What if it doesn't work out? What if I'm not going to make money? What if, right? And that's where your feelings come in. That's when you go wrong. You cannot have feelings in business.
Yeah, the pros, here's what I want you to understand about the difference between an amateur and a pro. I have been in this business of coaching and motivating people for 30 years, okay, since I was 15 years old. All I've ever done is coach people. I don't always feel like coaching people, okay? I coach about 2,000 people a month. Many times I'm like, man, I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't feel like doing this again today. See, when I get off this Zoom, I'm gonna go to another Zoom. And then when I get off that Zoom, I'm gonna go to another Zoom. And then I got a bunch of people coming out here to my house in Florida that I'm gonna be coaching over the next couple of days at this couples retreat. I don't wake up in the morning and go, hey man, let's do this, because I've been doing it 30 years. I wake up just like you do, tired, frustrated, irritated, kids, wife, life, business, employees to deal with. I wake up just like you do. Now, what I'm telling you here is, but I know if I'm a pro, I got to flip the switch. That's why I called the book Flip the Switch. And I got to activate that prey drive. So the way I activate my prey drive, because there's 3 phases, it's got to be activated. There must be a persistence to it. And there must be an intensity to it. See, this is what I like about Gogo. She's got an intensity. Now, where that intensity came from, past, life, coming to America, broke, right? There's a big because goal there. I don't want to go back. I want to move forward. I have an intensity. So what creates intensity are timelines and targets, right? And my goal is to get to 25,000 a day in my coaching business. Okay, 25,000 a day times 5 is 125 a week. 125 times 4 is 500,000 a month. 500,000 a month times 12, 6 million a year. Okay, now, so what I'm trying to do when I wake up in the morning is I'm trying to get to a target. How do I get to that target? My 35 to 45 high value activities. And when I don't feel like doing it, that's an indicator I need to do it. Okay, so I need to prospect right now. So I time block like a lot of people do, and I prospect typically in the mornings for 2 hours, but I could literally hit 30 or 40 people in a matter of an hour. I don't have to prospect for 8 hours to hit my numbers. I can just be more effective with the prospecting I'm doing. Okay, so why would I move from this? So I want you to write, if you're taking notes, I want you to put an A on one side of your paper and a B on the other side. And this is actually an exercise we're going to do with the couples that are coming down, because we have a lot of EXP couples coming down here to our house this weekend in Florida. Gogo's one of those. A is your current position. And I want you to think about all the things you don't like about your current position. I'm doing 2 deals when I should be doing 4 deals. My life, right? I'm too involved in this. I'm right. I want you to think of A as a frustration point, because frustration typically will cause you to take an action. Okay. Oh, and at your B, I want you to put, what is your ideal picture? And the ideal picture is I'm doing 4 deals a month. I'm doing 6 deals a month. I'm building an organization. My passive income or my residual is greater than my living expenses. Okay. I live in Florida 90 days out of the year. Whatever it is, your B, it's unique totally to you. Okay. Now, between A and B, there are things that keep us from moving toward this B. So when I'm coaching someone, and as you guys know, I've coached some of the top EXP people in the world. so the very first exercise I have them do is this exercise. And I say, what's your B? And many times they can't tell me. And I say, what is a tangible outcome you would like to drive in a concentrated period of time, whether I'm coaching you for 90 days or 1 year? Where are we trying to go to? Where are we trying to move to? And why do you want to move there? Okay. Now, I don't believe you have to find your why to do something big in the world. Okay. Now this is a little controversial, so bear with me here, because chapter 3 of my new book is called Screw Your Why. Okay. And you say, why do you say that, coach? I've been coaching people for 30 years. I think I can know my purpose and still not be motivated. How many of you could know your purpose and still not be motivated? What if I woke up today and said, I know I'm supposed to be coaching people, man, I don't feel like coaching people today. Okay. So I actually believe you don't find your purpose and do something big. I actually believe your purpose finds you when you are taking an action. Okay. I coach kids. I didn't know I wanted to coach adults till I started coaching adults. I didn't know I wanted to write books till I wrote a book. I didn't know, right? I didn't know until I took an action. So pray drive is an instinct to take an action. Okay. And so what I believe in is a because goal. I like because goals better than find your why. Okay. Now let me tell you what I mean by that. If I really got down to why Gogo is so intrinsically motivated, there's probably some big because goals in there. And okay, a because goal is I do this because of this. I do this because of this. Somebody poured into me, and because of that, I made up my mind I'm going to pour into other people. Because I grew up without a father, I made up my mind I was going to be a good father to my kids. Because I was poor at one point in my life, I made up my mind I was never going to be poor again. Did everybody see that? Okay. I was coaching a kid right before this who got into my coaching program. He paid 30 grand for me to coach him. And he locked himself up in his room for 14 years because of the trauma he had in his childhood. He would get out of his house in the morning and go to work, and he worked 2 and 3 jobs. And he was going to come spend time with me in Tennessee, and he's 30 something years old, and he didn't know how to book a plane ticket. Okay. And now he's finally coming out. And I said, man, you got so much raw emotion and trauma in your life that you're ready to do something big, because we can use all of that as fuel for your prey drive. Everybody see that? But we got to the end of the call and he said, I want to come see you in Tennessee. How do I book a plane ticket? He didn't even know how to do it. He couldn't read. He didn't know timetables, but he's working 3 or 4 jobs and he's got a tremendous prey drive. And I'm sitting there going, man, this kid is so talented, but he doesn't have any mentorship. He doesn't have any guidance. He doesn't have any leadership. So what I want to do is tap into that. So with Gogo, I may say, Gogo, what's your because goals? Now I may say, why do you want to be so good? Why do you want to be the best? Why is it important to you that you build a big organization? Why do you want to be a good wife and mom to your kids? Then I get into the deep psychology of her intrinsic motivation, which helps me to understand what her because goals are. Now, why is this tied to prey drive? Because when she don't feel like doing something, those because goals will kick in and cause her to take an action. Does everybody see that? I don't feel like prospecting, but because I was broke, I ain't never going back to be broke again. So I'm going to pick up that phone right now and follow up with people. Because I want to be a good role model to my kid, I'm going to do this even when I don't feel like doing this. So I like because goals better than find your why, because I actually believe you need because goals every day when you don't feel like doing it. Everybody hear that? Okay. So what I'm trying to do is activate something deep inside of you. Motivation to me is for amateurs. What I'm interested in is activating a deep drive, using all of your past, tapping into the worst parts of your life that you've had, to use that as fuel for you to become somebody in the world. See, that's what I'm going to do with this kid. I'm going to take all that rough past and I'm going to use it as fuel so he can go do something big in the world. All he needs is a coach. That's all he needs. Okay. So what would activate this drive? Okay. What would activate this drive? I'm going to give you a few things and then we'll take some questions. I'm going to give you 5 activators. All of this is in my new book. Okay. Number 1, fear is an activator of prey drive. Okay. Now, Gogo, this is interesting. When you think about real estate agents today, We've all heard that when you have intense pressure, how many of you ever heard fight or flight? You've heard that, right? So some of you are going to come out swinging and you're like, this economy ain't knocking me down. I'm going to show that I can win in this economy. Some of you are going to contract. Psychologists, they would call it fleeing, but they're now saying that there's a third thing that people do when under pressure, they freeze. And this is what I'm seeing a lot of mortgage originators do. They're just frozen. It's like, what do I do? Who do I call? I can't sell a mortgage. I can't sell a house. Okay. Prey drive is when you have that instinct and your back's against the wall and you're afraid. Okay. I was losing $250,000 a month in March of 2020. Everybody hear that? I didn't say 25,000. I said $250,000 a month. Okay. And that hurt my feelings. Okay. Max Powers, that hurt my feelings. But you know what it really did? It pissed me off. And the more pissed off I got, the more action I took. Everybody see that? So instead of feeling sorry for myself and whining, coming home and telling my wife, man, we're losing everything, because there was no speaking engagements. There's nowhere for me to speak in March of 2020 because of COVID. That's how I drive leads. Okay. Here's what I went home one night and said, I ain't going out like this. I'm good and pissed off. Now I have fear and now I have a competition and I don't like losing because I'm a coach. So what I did is I started thinking, what can I do? Man, I could start doing virtual events. I did 4 virtual events. Listen to this, folks. We made $1.5 million off 4 virtual events I did. I did 500. Okay. I did over 500,000 per event in a virtual event. I had never done virtual events before. You know what the pandemic forced me to do? Get creative. What it really did is activate my prey drive. I needed that. This was a good thing, not a bad thing. So the losing the money motivated me to a new level that I had never got to before in my business career, because I was afraid of losing everything. Everybody with me? And if you're thinking like that today, man, what if it all goes down? Number one, this is going to be temporary. Market's going to come back. Rates are going to go down. This is only a temporary period. We can all figure that out. Yes or no? This ain't going to last forever. So there's a season here where life is testing you. The world is testing you to see if you're a pretender or a contender. So fear is your friend. Remember this. When I'm afraid, I take more action. When I'm afraid, I take action. When I'm afraid, I take more action. Not when I'm afraid, I contract, which is what most people do. Okay.
So I always think of it like, is something wrong with me, right? Like, think of a bar fight. If a bar fight was happening, would you be the first one in there, be like, everybody get the fuck out of my way, right? I'm going to mess you up. Or would you be the one hiding behind the bar? Because I definitely going to be front and center. I'm going to be like, listen, I'm coming at you, right? So, but that's my personality, and that's how I attack everything, right? I always think of it, when I think of the animal's prey drive, right? Think about it. If that animal doesn't go and catches something today, they don't eat today.
Yep.
They don't have the option of walking up to the fridge or
Right.
going to the grocery store. They don't eat today. So you have to tackle whatever idea that you have. You have to find that prey drive in yourself, the one that makes you like, if I don't do this, my kids don't eat. My kids don't go to college.
Right. Yep.
And that's how you attack it. That's how you tackle it. The fact that if raise your hand if you have children.
Yep.
Raise your hand if there is absolutely anything. There's nothing in this world that you wouldn't do if they were hungry.
Yep.
Imagine that your kids are freaking hungry every day.
That's right.
Like an animal, you have to go hunt today or your kids don't eat.
Yeah. And there's a term, if you struggle with getting motivated, psychologists use a term called mental subtraction. I actually use this. Mental subtraction is where I take something that I love and I pretend that I have to give it up because I don't hit my numbers. So I want you to think of something you love right now. Could be a house, could be a car. Okay. For me, it's that jet. For me, it's that jet. Gogo. And I don't want to think about life without that jet. Now,
you don't want to go back to regular public flights?
No, I do not. Okay. If you fly as much as me, you'd understand. Now, here's my point. So every time I'm on that jet, that's very expensive, by the way, you know what I'm thinking? I ain't losing this thing. I can lose a lot of things, but I ain't losing this. So you know what that prompts me to do, Jocelyn? Pick up the phone, follow up with people, close deals, activate. See, that's mental subtraction. I pretend I'm losing something. And that activates my prey drive. Okay. So fear is one, competition is one. This is very important. Some of you are motivated by competition. You want to be number one. You don't like seeing yourself low on the totem pole. You don't want to just be good. You want to be the best. So important to this equation. Okay. Number 3, environment is an activator of prey drive. This is why you got to go to conferences. This is why you got to shadow under top people. This is why you got to be on these Zooms every week. This is why you got to be in a coaching program, because what happens is you lose your prey drive. Satisfied needs never motivate, only unsatisfied needs. Okay. So number 2, competition, Cat West. Number 3, environment. Okay. You know what a coach did? Go, when I was a coach, I spent 5.5 hours a day with those kids. Imagine you give me your kids for 5.5 hours a day, and I'm pushing them and challenging them and discipline them and making them work hard, right? Yesterday, I hired a psychologist for my daughter. She's 10 years old. And I hired a sports psychologist to work with my daughter because I'm her father. And I recognize that she needs somebody else pushing her other than me. So we spent an hour with a psychologist. And I said, look, why don't you coach my daughter in these 3 things? How to control her emotions, how to channel her negativity when she goes negative, and how to be able to do these things, right? What I'm doing is I'm getting her the coaching she needs to be successful in the world. Okay. Because she can push her in a different way than I can as her dad. Okay. So number 3 is environment. Number 4, exposure. I see something. I'm around, my eyes have been open to something that I didn't, and now I want a better life. When I first started speaking, they put me up in clarions, microtails. You guys ever stayed at a microtail? Rooms are about this big. Okay. Like little, like you're on a little cruise ship, cheap hotels. And then as I got better and we generated more income, I go, you know what? I'm going to start staying in nice hotels. Then all it took was staying in one nice hotel. And it's like, I ain't never going back to the microtail. You understand what I mean? I ain't never going back to the clarion. I ain't never going back over there again. So what does it take to stay in one of these rooms? That'll activate your prey drive. I see something. See, when I spoke at 10X in 2018, me, Milet, Cardone, Damon John, all those people that you would know, what I really learned by being on stages with those guys was I deserve to be there. It exposed me to something. I go, man, I can do this just like they do it, right? They may be better at marketing. They may have more experience than me. They may be further in their careers than I am, but I can do this. It opened my eyes to possibility like I couldn't imagine, right? And we did $1 million when I spoke at 10X. We did $1 million of business when I spoke at 10X. 250,000 in the first hour. And then over the course of a year, truly $1 million from that one speaking engagement. Now, number 5 is maybe one of my favorite ones, embarrassment. Embarrassment is an activator of prey drive. Okay. Now, I don't embarrass people in a negative way. What I say to people is, help me to understand why you have all this talent, all this potential, but I can't get you to move. Help me to understand why you're doing 2 deals a month when you're capable of doing 6 deals a month. Help me to understand why you could be one of the top people at EXP, but you're not. Help me to understand why you allow all these distractions to distract you away from what you're capable of doing. Help me to understand why you whine and complain so much about what's going on in the market versus pick up the phone and call people. Help me to understand why I'm betting on you, but you ain't betting on you. And so the way I use embarrassment when I'm coaching people is I remember being on a Zoom one night and we had just started doing about $250,000 a month in our coaching business. And I was talking about it. I was feeling good about myself. And I was like, oh, we're doing $250,000 a month. And it's big. And Brad Lee called me, and who's one of my friends. And he's like the ultimate dude, you know. He's like, bro, I heard you talking about doing $250,000 a month on your Zoom tonight. I said, yeah, man, I'm proud of it. He said, that's embarrassing. He said, man, I wouldn't be telling people you're doing a number that low. Here's what he said to me. Guy like you with your engine should be doing 2.5 million a month. You get to 2.5 million a month, then you talk about it. And at first I'm like, come on, man. But then I said, thank you for that. You're right. I'm embarrassed by the level I'm playing at when I could be playing at a higher level. It actually motivated me and activated my prey drive. Okay. Now, how many of you think your prey drive is more activated than when you came to the call today? Okay. Now, how many of you I can count on to purchase this book to help me make this a Wall Street Journal bestseller? Now, I'm going to tell you why this is important. Okay. I've never had a Wall Street Journal bestseller in 17 books. And people ask me why this is so important to me. I came from a small town in Tennessee where not a lot of people went on to do big things. Okay. And I want to be able to tell my kids, I have 3 kids. I want to say, look where your dad came from. And he made it all the way to the Wall Street Journal bestseller list. That's the number one reason I want to do that. So every book matters. Every book you buy matters. And when you buy it on Amazon, if you buy it through the link, you get 2 days of coaching with me completely free, 2 full days. One on visioneering December 9th, one in January called Activate. You get 90 days of Wednesday calls with me called Pray Drive for Lunch. It's a lot of value. And if you order it on Amazon versus go through the link, just make sure you send an email to support@coachburt.com so you can get all the free things, because I really want you to get all the coaching you deserve. Okay. This has been fun, man. I'm almost exhausted. Max Powers, y'all worked me good today. Now I love Gogo. I would do anything for Gogo. She's really one of my favorite people in the world, because the minute I met her, I liked her. And when I first started working at EXP, I was coaching Jay Kinder and Al Stasic, and they kept talking about Gogo. They kept saying to me, you got to know Gogo. You got to know Gogo. You got to know Gogo. And I'm like, okay, well, when are they going to introduce me to Gogo? And I spoke in Nashville at Sprint there, and I was in there for lunch before I spoke, and she was in there, and we met for the first time, and we've been good buds ever since. So Gogo, thanks for having me today.
Thank you so much for being here. I think all of us are going to get your book. I'm going to get it myself here in a second. I have to check it out myself, right? Because my team doesn't have my credit card information. So after the call, I will be helping you. And I'm very excited to be able to, have a little piece in that for you to reach your goal. Because I understand how life works, right? What you give is what you get. So when you help out someone, when they're trying to reach their goals, they're going to help you out when you're reaching yours.
100%. And I can't do it without you guys. So thank you for purchasing it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Love you. And have a great week, and activate that Pray Drive and go get it. Fair enough?
I guess we are having dinner tomorrow night.
You're going to be having dinner at my house tomorrow night. So I'll be seeing you up close and personal.
I can't wait. Thank you so much. You're the best. This was awesome.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, guys, now I have another announcement. Many of you are waiting to hear. We were working in the background for the last few months, Christy, myself, and my marketing team, to come out what we call Own Your Leads. That to me, own my leads, actually. What that one came for, actually, let me just change this very quick. Can you guys see me? Or you still see Micheal Burt on the screen?
No, we can see you, Gogo.
Awesome. Okay. So the idea came because everything that I do it mostly on the organic side of things, right? But you still see me everywhere. I try to, right, to be everywhere. And for that, I have the most amazing marketing team in the world that plasters me everywhere, the Facebooks, the Instagram, the YouTubes, the Googles, the you name it, right? And so I was like, hold on a minute. If I have the most amazing marketing team, then is there a way for me to share with the agents that team? Because I believe that we can't possibly be good at everything, right? If you want to become good at something, you have to take all your time and energy and effort and go into to become the best in that something, right? And is that our time best spent? I don't know, right? Maybe not. Maybe I need to stay in my lane to continue staying a top producing realtor, a public speaker, or social media teacher, right? Marketing teacher. And maybe my marketing team is the one who just needs to run those ads for everybody. So us agents, how do we make money? We make money by having our commissions. Where do commissions come from? Is generating leads. So we can generate leads organically, right? You can continue doing everything that you have been doing because it's clearly working, right? The question is, what if you threw $10, $20 at it every day? And you had a most amazing marketing team to run your ads and generate leads, and most importantly, with your own brand. The reason I have never bought leads in my entire career, not even for my local team in Michigan, is because most of these third-party companies, they will want you to do the ads. Pretty much what happens, you pay them a fee and in return they give you leads. But those leads are not ran from your own account, so you're not generating market awareness to your brand. And those leads are not technically yours. The leads are theirs. And you pay them a commission with most of them nowadays, right? So what I wanted to do with this, and I'm going to share my screen. Will, are you on here?
Yes, I'm right here.
Oh, hi, Will. I wanted to introduce you. to the world, because you are the brains and the action and the team behind the the actual service that we are going to do here. So everyone, this is Will. Meet Will. Will the wizard. I actually met him through Coach Burt, right? So I go to a Coach Burt event and everybody's talking about this wizard kid, and I'm like, who that? What? The wizard? What is he? Who is he? What does he do? So, Will, do you want to introduce yourself very, very quick? Because I think your story is fascinating. You know a little bit about everything, and you're so young. By the way, he's 21 and he owns 22 cars. And I don't mean Kias. I mean, he took me to the airport in a Bentley. Okay, I've never sat in a Bentley before that, guys. I can say I sat in a Bentley. I don't own one like Will, but I sat in Will's Bentley, okay? So Will, just kind of take it from here. Introduce yourself of who you are. How did you come about creating PCG? And we go from there.
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Will Muse. I'm the president and co-founder of PCG Digital, the premier client group. And essentially, we are a one-stop shop for anything and everything digital that an entity could need. We focus a lot on a lot of brand awareness, as well as very specific objectives, conversions and such. Like what we were doing marketing Gogo's Bootcamp. Overall, really just making a strong impact there. And we were working with everybody from really Fortune 500 companies to small businesses, as well as many very individualized niche projects, such as what we're doing for Gogo and people like Coach Burt. So it was just such an honor for me to be able to collaborate with Gogo and us to be able to kind of launch our own co-venture and platform together to offer to each and every one of you all.
That's awesome. So how did you get into this, Will?
Yeah, so actually, I was an artist in the music industry, and I was signed to Radio Disney. Had an awesome career there, and I had always just been, very interested in, business and finance, and really, just digital marketing, in itself. So I started a bit. Really working with a lot of smaller independent artists and such, that then grew and scaled more into some larger projects or some record label things. And then I really went through and started branching out into the corporate world, and just making connections through people such as Gogo and Coach Burt there. But we've really been able to go through and generate, it's been over 10 billion impressions for all of our clients. So we've had a pretty successful run within the digital marketing industry.
That's awesome. So what is the marketing budget that you get to play with every day?
It is all, very dependent. Some clients, they might be spending $500,000 a week in ad spend. Some people might be spending $500 a week. So it's all, relative and individualized.
That's amazing. Did you hear that? Some people spend $500,000 a day on marketing. Like, that's insane. Right? So now think of it. Think of all of the clients that you got and the Facebook impressions that you have and the business page that you have that you were able to reach organically, right? Everything that you do without putting money at it, it's called organic social media marketing. So everything that you do is organic. Now, you can only reach the people when you make an organic post, or the people that already follow you. Well, there's a lot of people out in the world that don't know of your existence or mine. Right? So this is why I hire a team, so then I can get in front of, because we are all in the business of eyeballs, right? Just as Coach Burt says, you don't need more money, you need more people. The people have the money, right? So when we do the marketing, my idea with it to pay for it too, I do all of my organic, don't get me wrong, but I do pay for to brand awareness, to get the eyeballs of the people who have not met me yet, or they don't know of my existence. So when it comes to real estate, we need more eyeballs, we need more people, because the people need homes to live in, right? So Will and I had countless phone conversations and Zoom calls, right, to come up with the idea, how can we do this where we can build, and actually I'm going to share my screen with you guys very quick. There we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. So we call it Own My Leads, because I believe that you should own your own data. That CRM program that you have, or the emails addresses that you have, right, in your CSV file or whatever, that is yours and should always be yours. If right now, as we are talking, if you have an email address from your current brokerage at a Keller Williams or a Century 21 or whatever, you change that right now, because if they fire you, or if you leave and they cut the cords, you lost all that data. You need to own your data. Everything that you have, it should be in a CRM program, okay? In my case, we use KV Core. KV Core not only a CRM program, but also has a lead capturing ability. Most EXP, not most, every EXP agent has KV Core. But if you're not EXP, whatever brokerage you're with, that's fine. I'm sure you also have a CRM program, right? So the idea here is that we would run your ads out of your account. So it would be your brand awareness. So when the Facebook ad is running, it's going to be running out of your account, reaching your existing audience and also reaching audiences that have not known of your existence yet. We can geo-target locations, meaning if you are doing real estate transactions in Brighton, Michigan, then we would be heavily targeting, in your case, Brighton, Michigan, right? You're not going to run real estate transactions in Kentucky if you live and do transactions and you have a license in California, right? So we are going to geo-target out of your own account and retarget, meaning that the audiences that you already have will automatically see your ads, and then future audiences, the people who don't know of your existence, will also do the same. Now, these will come off of funnels. So we have already 10 existing funnels. I'm just going to give you some ideas, like a new construction funnel, a condominium funnel, a lakefront property funnel, a buyer's guide, a seller's guide of how much your home is worth. These are all funnels. They're pre-built. If you decide, or when you decide to work with us, by the way, we're only taking the first 20 guys. So if you haven't noticed, there are no links. I haven't showed you where you can sign up yet. I'm not going to show it to you. I want to explain you what this is and what you're getting. And we will take the first 20 this month. If you think about it, you're getting your own Facebook ad manager. They can only take on so many clients at a time, right? So we cannot open this up to the public. This is why if you're here, first come, first serve, we'll take the first 20. Okay, so after you pick your which pack, I'm going to go down straight to the packages so you can see what I'm talking about. How about that? Right here. If you're an individual agent, the monthly would be the $447. For that, we build you one funnel and one ad. Now, here's the thing that I want you to think about. If you're a seasoned agent, you might be able to close 4 deals every single month and no problem to you. But if you're an individual agent who just kind of starting out and you're used to closing 1 to 2 deals a month, if I gave you 40 leads a month, you wouldn't even know what to do with it. Right? So you can grow through the packages here based on where you are in your career. So if you're an individual agent, that package starts at $447. You get one funnel and one ad every single month. So let's say this month you're going to choose the buyer's guide. Well, for that, you're going to need a picture or video. Your only work on your end is going to have to be to provide the picture or the video. Now, if you do not want to be on camera, you should get off this call right now. You should not work with us. You should go work with some other company. And here's the reason why. Because I know that doesn't work. If you are not in your own brand, because what we are selling in the end of the day, you're selling yourself and your services, and I'm selling mine. So if you and me go against each other on social media, right? Like I have presence, let's say, and you don't for whatever reason, guess who's going to win? The agent who has a presence, who has an existence, is the agent who's going to win. So if you're not willing to be on camera or video explaining to people why they should work with you, then you should not work with us, because I am not going to allow a stock image or a stock video in any of your ads. Because if you have a stock image or you have a stock video, that ad will not perform. If the ad doesn't perform, leads are not going to come in. And if leads don't come in, you're going to say that my program doesn't work, and you're not going to have that luxury. Okay, I know what works when it comes to advertising. So if you are not willing to be on camera, then you need to leave now. Okay, this would not be for you, because for every single ad that you choose, we are going to ask you to send us a video. So let's say it's a buyer's guide this month, then you are going to go on there, explain who you are, why should buyers work with you, what is your buyer's guide about, why should they get it, and in return, guess what? They're going to download it, you're going to get their name, email address, phone number, and you have a database that you A, just built, and B, if your follow-up is good, as Coach Burt just taught you, and you're a good closer, you just got yourself a client to get to the closing table, right? They will raise their hand. Hey, I want your buyer's guide. When do they want buyer's guides? If they're thinking about buying, right? So that's the reason why the difference is there is because you guys here, the first 20 that we are taking on, you are going to be technically our test buddies, right? We have built it out. We think it's working well, but we're going to have to test it out in motion, right? To actually see it happening every single month. So for that, we are giving 10% off for the first 20 people. After the 20th person checked out on this site today, we will shut it down and we will start a waiting list. Okay, when the next month starts, if you're on the waiting list, we're going to send you a text message and an email address and say, hey, we are open for the next 20. And again, those 20 sign up right away. When they signed up, the site shuts down and we open it up for a waiting list for the following month. We can slowly grow as we are building our teams. We can hopefully potentially open up for more in the future. The next package is a seasoned agent package. That would be 2 funnels and 2 ads. So for example, maybe in this funnel, you choose an open house ad and a coming soon ad. These ads are going to be running simultaneously to target audiences. And then your ads manager. So initially, when you sign up and you pay, you're going to have an onboarding call with your ads manager. That your ads manager is really get to know you and your business and where you're located and who's your ideal client. You should know who your ideal client is, right? Look at your past 10 closings and look at who they are. Are they usually buying, you know, startup homes? Are they downsizing? Are they doctors? Are they, what is your ideal client, right? And that's easier to target because you already have knowledge for that. The next one is a small team, which would be 3 funnels and 3 ads. And this one, we just use the example of open house ads, coming soon ads, and seller leads. And then the next one is a 2247, which is 5 funnels and 5 ads. Now, what you need to keep in consideration is that these are the costs for the services for our team, our marketing team, to run your ads. These ads are going to be run out of your Facebook ad account. It's going to be fed to your CRM program. And from there, you follow up. The leads are yours forever. Nobody sees it but you. It dumps right into your CRM program. Okay. The next thing, because they are built on funnels, you have to have a ClickFunnels account. If you don't have a ClickFunnels account, on your onboarding call, we're going to give you a link. You can purchase it. We're not exactly sure. Worst case scenario, you're going to be paying almost $100 a month for ClickFunnels, okay, in order to have a ClickFunnels account. That's pretty much it. Now, in order to run ads, there is some ad cost, right? Facebook sadly doesn't allow us to run ads for free. I wish they did, right? I wish we could just go on there and run ads with $0 or Monopoly dollars. I wish, but we can't, right? It requires real money. So with that, in the individual agent package, we advise you to spend about $20 to $25 a day. If you now you can spend less, you're just going to get less leads, right? You can play with that, but $20-25 a day. If you do $20 a day, that's $600 a month, right? So now you are $600 in ad cost, $100 in ClickFunnels, and $447. So what is that? $1,200, $1,100 something a year, right? A month, $1,100 a month. What's your average commission? If you sold one house right now, your average commission, what is that? $7,500 is nationwide, right? So if I said, consider investing $1,100 into yourself and your database, and mind you, your database is going to grow every single month because those leads are going to stay there forever. So the person who signed up this month, they might not buy this month, but they might buy 3 months from now or sell, right? So investing $1,100, $1,200 into yourself to potentially making a $7,500 commission. And that's only if you make 1 commission, right? Okay, so, well, before I forget it, did I forget anything?
Yeah.
Would you like to add on?
Yeah, I think you covered that, all very, very well. And another, pretty, serious emphasis is every campaign, every client that we are taking on, it's got to be a highly individualized approach. We can, even go in and be analyzing existing data, past audience trends, things that have worked, digital marketing wise for you in the past. And then we really can take the overall approach of just enhancing, making those systems far, far more, efficient. That's, really going to help with the scalability, everything as well.
Yeah. And also, if you have a database already, right, an existing solid social media following, right, advertising to your existing database is much cheaper than advertising for strangers who don't know of your existence. So if we are taking the $20-25 in consideration here and you have 800 followers, then yeah, you should spend the $20-25. But if you have 15,000 followers, right, and you have a healthy social media following where your base is solid, then you could potentially spend less and end up with the same end result, right? So you have to keep in consideration that these marketing techniques are going to be individualized, as Will said, because we all different from one another and what we have been able to achieve organically. Okay.
Really,
Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
going in and adjusting, enhancing, ensuring that these systems work and are profitable and really truly operating at the highest level. You'll look at metrics, let's say a domestic post engagement, somebody who's meaningful and targeted based within the United States, going through and engaging with one of your posts. The industry average for something like that would be between 30 and 35 cents as a whole. What our team is able to achieve is, let's say, between 1 and 3 cents, because of the way that we're constantly obsessing upon adjusting the ads, making them much, much more efficient.
Thank you. I am going to include the link in here now. Ready? And there we go. This is nowhere out for the public. Actually, I think I sent it to you, Karen. Hold on, everyone. Okay, control. I think Karen was the last person that I messaged. She's my social media manager. Okay, so the link is there. The first 20 we will take on. You guys got a discounted price at 10%. As soon as the 20th order comes in, we will shut it down for this month. We will have a waiting list. So if you make it onto the waiting list, then later, if you didn't make it into the first 20, then we will put you on the waiting list, and then we will contact you via text message and via email close to December 1st when we are opening it up again, and then you can jump on and hopefully get into the next 20. Well, thank you so much for being here. I also want to add on that if you are not necessarily maybe looking for leads, but maybe you're thinking about building a course, or you need to build a website, or you need to build something, Will's team is the one that I use, right? For everything. This website that I just showed you guys is built by Will's team. I am going to actually, Karen, can I ask you to include the link for that? Do you have that handy? There we go. Okay. Well, again, he's called the wizard, so it's the wizard sign up sheet.
Oh, Gogo just
can absolutely build it.
froze.
They have. Do you have any questions?
Yes.
I have a
Can you?
question.
I was going to say, can you repeat? We've completely missed what you said because you're
Did you
you froze, Gogo.
Oh, sorry. Where did you lose
Yeah.
me? Where did you?
The last two sentences, pretty much.
I don't know what my last two sentences were.
So you said the wizard. You sent the link. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you froze. I think we pretty much got the point across. But if anyone is unclear, go ahead and unmute yourself really quick and ask away.
I have a couple questions. What is the other item that you said you needed other than, like, we pick what program we want and then we need ClickFunnels, and then there was something else.
Video. So for each funnel that we build, oh, sorry. Okay, I'll go. So each funnel that you pick, so each month you get to pick a different funnel. So this month you might run new construction ads, and next month you say, I want to run lakefront properties. And the month after that, you say, I want to do a buyer's guide, and the month after that, seller's guide, right? Each of these ads that we're going to run for you, it's going to lead to a funnel. That funnel is going to require a video of you or a picture. Now, of course, if you ask me, I would do the video, because that will do almost 400 times better than a picture will. Okay, so your ads will perform better, and your results because of the ads will perform better if you have a video. So that's what I was saying. Two things are required of you: a ClickFunnels account and send us the video for that month's ads. But really, a video is usually like, nobody wants to sit on there and listen to you for 15 minutes, right? It's just a quick video on your page, the landing page that we're taking them to. There's some things like, hey guys, this is Cat West. Let's say you're talking about the buyer's guide, right? I'm so excited that you're thinking about buying. I put together a very intensive buyer's guide that will help you understand the buying process. All you need to do is click below. I can't wait to help you purchase a new home, or whatever, right? That's it, like 30 seconds or less. And you send that to your ad manager. They build that into the ads, and they also build it into the landing pages.
Awesome. So when they see somebody sees the ad on Facebook, they click it, they go to my funnel. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then when they go to my funnel, they can go ahead, and that means they go as a lead into my KV core. Or
so for example, on that, let's say it's a buyer's guide, right? So if it's a buyer's guide, then you're going to have to give them a buyer's guide. So in that video, you're going to say something along the lines of like, in order to get my buyer's guide, just click the link below. When they click it, they're going to give you their name, email address, phone number. They're going to get the buyer's guide email to them, right? But then in return, you're going to get the information. Next month, when you're doing a new construction, it might be that you're actually featuring a new construction property. You're talking about the Allen Edwin homes or whatever that is. The link might take them directly into your KV core.
Okay.
So there might be that you're capturing their information differently, but it's all going to feed to your CRM program.
Okay. So then when it's in my CRM, it's my job to put them on a drip campaign.
No, you should have that set up automatically.
Okay. But that's not something that comes with this, is like.
But your CRM program is, it's a switchable button. Like mine is automatically set up. A lead comes in, the drip campaign automatically set up, or a market report automatically set up. Right. So and the follow-up, of course, is your game. We cannot call your leads on your behalf. We can't turn them into your clients, and you certainly can show up at closing. Right.
Yes.
That is your job. We help you generate the leads, you close them, you make commission.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me see. There might be some in the chat box. I think that's it. Okay, I think we answered the ClickFunnels, guys. If you don't have it yet, the link is included there. You can get it on that link, or when you do your onboarding call with your ads manager, he's going to be asking you for that. And if you don't have it, the person's going to walk you through that. Well, go ahead.
Yes. So anything, when it comes to, connecting the business managers, facilitating, ClickFunnels, going over assets that we need, our team can definitely help you all facilitate, make sure that we have everything we need to, execute our job.
Yeah, they're going to ask you for all that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. That's it. Go get them in 2023. Activate that Pray Drive. Got your marketing done, and voila. There's 6 million real estate transactions are going to exchange hands in 2023. The question is, who's going to be doing them? Hopefully it's all of us. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you all for being here. Bye, everyone.
Pleasure.
Awesome.